All right, let's talk about something we all do, or at least we all see. It's that modern ritual. A beautiful plate of food arrives, and what's the very first thing we do? Well, for so many of us, it's not grabbing the fork, it's grabbing the phone. So let's get into the pretty wild psychology behind why we let our perfectly good food get cold for a picture.
I mean, it's a fair question, right? Think about it. The food shows up, it's hot, it smells amazing, and every single part of your brain is just screaming, "Eat it! Now!" But we don't. We stop. The phones come out. We're all trying to find the right angle, the right light, and the actual eating has to wait. What is going on there? And you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're at brunch, and nobody is allowed to touch their Eggs Benedict until the perfect overhead shot is taken. Or you're at that fancy dinner. Your stomach is rumbling, but you're too busy making sure the lighting is just right. We've all been there, whether we're the one taking the picture or the one waiting to eat.
And this is really where it gets kind of weird. Our most basic, hardwired instinct when we see food is to, eat it. It's supposed to be about taste and smell and pure satisfaction. So to willingly put that on hold, to let hot food get cold, that's the part that's so fascinating.
Okay, so to crack this case, we've got to look at what's happening upstairs in our brains. And the very first clue is a core idea from psychology that actually explains a ton of our decisions. And that idea is called delayed gratification. It's a really powerful concept, but it's simple. It's just our ability to turn down something good right now because we think we're going to get something even better later.
Here's a great way to think about it. Imagine it's a birthday present. You could just rip it open the second you get your hands on it. Boom, instant reward. But waiting to open it at the party with all your friends watching, well, that makes the whole experience bigger, more social, more memorable. That's the delayed and arguably better reward.
And that's exactly the trade we're making with our food. We're swapping that instant personal reward, the amazing taste, for a different kind of reward. We get a shared experience, one that's documented, one that we can look back on. We're literally turning a meal into a memory before we've even taken a single bite.
Now, of course, this whole thing doesn't happen in a vacuum. Our modern digital lives, and especially social media, have basically poured jet fuel on this little psychological fire.
Social media has perfected this incredibly powerful feedback loop, right? You post the great picture, the likes and comments start to pop up, you get that little rush of social validation, and every single like is a tiny reward that just tells your brain, hey, that was a good idea, let's do that again.
And this gets to a really crucial point. It's not just about the food, it's about building an identity. Psychologists call this self-presentation. That photo of your fancy coffee isn't just a picture of coffee. It's a signal. It says, I'm the kind of person who has good taste, or I'm having a cool, cultured experience. Food has become this universal language for crafting who we are online.
And let's be honest, in today's world, we're all kind of storytellers. We're constantly documenting our lives, turning experiences into little pieces of content for our own personal narrative. A simple dinner out becomes another chapter in the story we're telling the world about ourselves.
So we've got delayed gratification and we've got social media. But there's one last piece to this puzzle, and it is by far the most surprising part of this whole thing. It turns out that pausing for that picture might actually have a very unexpected upside.
Just think about what you're doing when you're trying to get that perfect shot. You're focusing on the food. You're looking at the colors, the textures, the way it's all put together on the plate. That simple act of paying close attention, it elevates the meal from just something you eat to something you're mindfully appreciating, and it really helps lock in the memory.
And here is the kicker. This is the big reveal. Some psychologists suggest that because you're taking that moment to really appreciate how the food looks, you're priming your brain for the experience. That focused attention can actually make the food taste better and make the whole meal more enjoyable when you finally do pick up your fork. The delay itself has a payoff. So, let's put it all together. What does it all mean? Well, that habit of taking a picture before you eat is really just a classic case of delayed gratification. It's been massively amplified by our need for social validation online. But the big twist is that the very act of taking the photo can make the memory stronger and maybe even make the food taste better. Which brings us to one last little thought. The next time you're out, the food comes, and you feel that instinct to reach for your phone instead of your fork. Just pause for a second and ask yourself a simple question. Are you doing this to really lock in the moment and capture memory for yourself, or are you doing it for that little dopamine hit from social media? There's no right or wrong answer, really,
But knowing why you're letting your food get cold, that might just be the most interesting part of the whole meal.